This podcast is part of the Michigan Sports and Entertainment Podcast Network. Go to michigansportsandentertainment.com for more great podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Austin.
What's going on, guys? This is John.
And you're listening to the Voice of the Fan Sports Podcast. All right, John, we're back. Combined episode, I feel like one of the first
time since we...
Second time. I think we did it one other time.
I think we did it when our first episode, I think we did it.
And that was bad audio on my end, and then...
I'm sure mine wasn't great either, so don't feel too bad.
Oh, it was way better than mine, because I didn't have an actual microphone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was just weird. So
we have come a long way.
Yeah, certainly trying to, but yeah, combined episode today, just because the only thing that has happened since the last episode for Purdue is the ugly game against Northwestern, which we did win, but it was quite ugly. Outside of that, not much.
I'm honestly,
Nick Holt got fired today. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm honestly kind of curious how Connor opens the show now, since it's a combined episode. So, wonder if he goes with the fight song. Wonder if he what fight song he goes with, or what else he has up his sleeve.
Yeah. Well, he enjoys these kind of curveballs, so I'm sure it'll be something, or it'll just be like a dud because he's like, oh, I'm just not going to do anything for it. So, we'll see. It's always a surprise with him. But
so I guess opening up, do you agree with the firing of Nick Holt?
I do. If you just looked at the defense over as it progressed or regressed, when he first got there's a major improvement. And I don't know if it was because of the personnel that we had there. A lot of seniors on that team. Is when Juwan Bentley was there, Danny Zuchuku, Jalen Robinson, all those guys. And they clamped down hard. There was never any really big track meets. I know Michigan, I went to homecoming that year, that Brom's first year, I believe. Michigan came to town. It was 21-7 on the road in Madison. I think it was, I think maybe Wisconsin scored like 17 points or something like that. So it was, and Lamar Jackson at Louisville scored 35, which is one of the larger scores. It was 35-28, and obviously he's phenomenal.
He's okay.
So holding him,
holding
him to 35. I mean, he did his thing against us, but not, nothing exceptionally crazy. Sports Center, front flipping over people for touchdowns, or didn't have like 18 touchdowns or whatever. So, year one was good, and then it just slowly regressed. And obviously the injuries didn't help, but I think there may have been some writing on the wall. Obviously against Nevada, Coach Brom put him up in the press box, and then Purdue blew a 17-point lead and lost, which
I think with the young defense that you guys have, a fresh start and like a new voice wouldn't be the worst thing, especially with young and up-and-coming guys, just kind of getting something new going in there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just not a whole lot to offer. And obviously, I think we gave up the most points per game. Not in the Big Ten, but
too bad you guys didn't play us. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, even still in the Mud Bowl, you guys scored like 24 points, and we were stuck in the rut, in the mud.
With Rocky.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the other thing. First start for a backup quarterback, and we get torched. I mean, like that's the kind of thing that has just been kind of happening, and I think it was just time. Obviously, he brought a lot of experience. Coached at USC in 2003, won a national championship, Pac-12, or I guess it was the Pac-10 back then. But just from what I hear, probably Purdue can probably get someone that's a stronger recruiter, maybe in the West Coast out there. A lot of JUCO guys are coming out of there. but it's tough. So yeah, he's gone. Don't know any immediate replacements as of right now. I don't know. I don't even know a short list of who that would kind of look like. So
we did joke a little bit earlier. He can take Mark D'Antonio.
I tell you what, if Mark D'Antonio stepped down and became the defensive coordinator at Purdue, with the type of recruiter he is for defense, and then Jeff Brom's offense, Purdue would just be unstoppable in a couple years. I mean,
it'd be fun to watch.
Let's be honest, it would be crazy, but we all know it's not going to happen. So
yeah,
that's probably the thing that's going to be looked at.
The last thing I want to happen is wouldn't mind if D'Antonio left, but don't want him staying in conference to be a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
I only brought that up to you because some Michigan fan was like trolling on Twitter, like when Michigan State fires D'Antonio, he should come to Michigan and be the defensive coordinator. Like, why would he? If he's going to step down, I would assume he's going to retire. B, why would he go to a school that he made it his mission to make everybody hate them? Like Michigan was his thing. Like he made that like their number one game. But I mean, trolls are gonna troll.
Yeah, that's just you. You guys got that thing kind of going on. So yeah, that's half the news. With Nick Holt being fired, that happened today, and today is Monday, December 9th. So the other thing, obviously, for both schools, early signing period comes up in 9 days. So everyone's probably scrambling to get those last minute guys. As far as I know, Purdue isn't in the running for anybody big time. I know Malik Hornsberry was the guy that was kind of kicked around as far as like, ooh, could this be another quarterback addition for this team? And honestly, it looks like Baylor or Oregon. And playing in the championship games, Oregon obviously winning against Utah and Baylor almost winning against Oklahoma, taking him to overtime with a third-string true freshman quarterback, made an impression on him. But it kind of struck me, and I'll stop before I get too far off on a tangent. When you're thinking about that recruiting, Baylor anyway, you got a true freshman that just played in the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma, the team that's won it 5 years in a row, and he pretty much torched them for the little bit of time he saw. And I mean, I know there's a lot of things that go into that, but he came in and threw like, 2 passes for 161 yards and a touchdown and got Baylor right back into the game. And their backup quarterback could not get anything going. And that's a true freshman. So, the quarterback room is a little crowded there. I don't know if you would be able to go in and make an immediate impact like he was saying. Obviously, I don't know all the details of that. And Matt Rule, the coach there, is an excellent guy and a coach. So I don't know if they would kind of lie, but it just kind of struck me as interesting. Obviously, Oregon, completely different situation with Herbert leaving. He'll be in the NFL. I believe he's a senior, so he's declaring. So maybe Oregon makes more sense. But you look at Purdue, and it sucks because he had the Illinois official visit, which was a terrible game, terrible weather. It just stinks because a guy like that dual threat guy,
he's
could have made a big impact at Purdue, and he could have pushed for time, I think, as a true freshman.
Funny story with quarterbacks, actually, and I don't want to get too deep into this, like you said, because we can go on forever. Remember a little name C.J. Stroud when he first came on the scene, and you were kind of talking about him, like Michigan State was a big, involved in his game, and he liked Michigan State, and then his recruiting blew up, and like I said it would, and now he's, considering Ohio State, Michigan, all the big-time schools, and little Michigan State's in the dust. Sad times, bud. Can't get involved with big-time quarterbacks.
I feel like that happens to Michigan State a lot. We talk about these big-time guys, and
then they just kind of...
It doesn't happen.
Well, we'll get into it another day when we have more time, but there's a reason why we don't get kids. Not him, because he's not from Detroit, but we don't get a lot of talented kids out of Detroit the last few years, and there's a reason for that. Not going to dive down that wormhole, but there is a reason for that, and another reason why I think D'Antonio needs to step down.
Yeah,
but I will let you continue with your Purdue. Before, my bad for interrupting you.
No, you're fine. Well, the last thing is just the Purdue basketball game against Northwestern on Sunday. It was a Purdue win, pushing us to 6-3. Texas continues to win, as does Marquette and Florida State's ranked. So your 3 losses are actually starting to look pretty good. This game was not pretty. 22-16 at halftime, John.
Well, did you see that North Carolina Virginia score like 10 minutes in?
Well, I mean, that's just kind of expected.
It was like 9-6.
Oof.
North Carolina, not good this year.
Well, hopefully they are, because I don't think Virginia's that good, and Virginia stomping them will help Purdue's resume with a 29.
Unless it's early, but Ohio State and Michigan just put the throttle to North Carolina. Ohio State did it at North Carolina too. It was like 72-49.
But Ohio State's also just got pushed to number 3 in their rankings. So
they did, but still losing at home to 72-49. Whew.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they'll be fine over in Chapel Hill, per usual, as you know, State and Duke and all the other beat on each other, and then they end up in the tournament anyway. So, but yeah, Purdue, not a pretty game against Northwestern, but it's one of those games, a slugfest, where that's usually a game Purdue doesn't do well in. If things don't gel well, it doesn't end well. But to their credit, they did finish out and win the game against Northwestern. Kind of sneaky in basketball too, as they are in football. Maybe not this year, but certainly
they're always sneaky.
You can't sleep on anybody in the Big Ten. Maybe Rutgers, but that's it.
Whoa!
But really, Travion Williams, I would say, was the biggest. He just continues to develop and does an excellent job. And I hope with that he continues to see more and more minutes. I think we're seeing the emergence of Sasha Stefanovic. Saw 34 minutes with 14 points, led all scorers for Purdue. Matt Harms with 12. Jihad Proctor, I think, is settling down. 37 minutes, 10 points. So, again, not a great game on the stat sheet for everybody. I mean, you hate to see Aaron Wheeler with no points. I mean, Nojel Eastern is still trying to figure himself out, I think. Eric Hunter is definitely coming into his own as well with 8 there. But yeah, really just not too much to break down as far as the gameplay is. It's still really early. I think Purdue's trying to find their identity. I think Travion Williams is going to be the key to that, as is Sasha Stefanovic, Jihad Proctor, and Eric Hunter Jr., the guard play. Those 3 guys kind of making up for the scoring that you lost in Carson Edwards, who's doing big things in Boston. And then wanted to answer a question real fast I got on Twitter before I respond on there as well. A buddy of mine I went to school with asked why Michigan State is ranked and Purdue is not, when you look at who Purdue has played and lost to, and Michigan State played and lost to. He noted Michigan State's only notable win to this point is Seton Hall on the road. And Seton Hall has dropped as far as rankings go. And then obviously Purdue's biggest signature win would be Virginia by 29 at home. And then you beat VCU as well in Maui or wherever they played. And your losses came to the Texas, Florida State, and Marquette, who are all trending in the right direction. I would not be surprised if Texas gets ranked at 8-1 soon. But I think, honestly, for one, the 2 of the losses Michigan State suffered, Duke and Kentucky. I mean, those are top 5 teams, if I'm not mistaken, top 10 for sure. So that is probably one reason those losses, as they sit currently, are a lot better versus a Texas, Marquette, and Florida State, because those are top 10 teams. 2 of the teams that you lost to are not ranked. And also Florida State, I mean, they are ranked again, but they got the brakes beat off them by IU. So I think that kind of adds to it as far as why Michigan State's ranked. Purdue is not. But I think the biggest thing is just it's a media thing. It's a national recognition thing, and it's not a knock on Michigan State. It's just that's the program prominence that Tom Izzo brings and the recruiting classes that he brings in and the consistent success that you see in the tournament for Michigan State. I think it's kind of just understood, and really Michigan State beats themselves up really early against these tough teams. And I think we talked about it last year. It's kind of a benchmark. Where do you stack up? Where do you need to improve the most against these top teams that are usually humming really well? And then you figure out by tournament time, which they did last year. Obviously, they took down Duke, who was, Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett. Obviously, those two guys went to the draft, lottery picks. So I think that's why it's those losses are a lot better versus Purdue at this point. And then it's just national media bias. I think people understand what Michigan State is, and Tom Izzo brings really is that X factor and can get whatever he wants out of his team at any given point. I think the Virginia Tech hiccup was indeed that hiccup. But I mean, you got guys like Cassius Winston, 5-star guy like Rocket Watts. I think help me out
4-star
here. Aaron Henry, 4-star Watts. Aaron Henry. I mean, like these guys that are coming back from last year's team that you thought were going to take this step forward. They haven't done it yet, to my knowledge, but it's expected. Versus Purdue, you lose Carson Edwards, and it's like, well, what do they do? And you see that in the game. They're still lost. So I think that is really the biggest thing.
I think, like you said, you nailed it. I mean, it's Michigan State, so they're going to get the respect regardless. Two, I think they're also kind of giving Michigan State respect as in they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Well, not a lot, but Langford's out until January at least, and Rocket Watts is also now out. So, but the Seton Hall game on the road was a big win. Obviously, Purdue beating Virginia like they did at home was huge as well. But I think the biggest difference is Tom Izzo and Michigan State generally always starts off pretty cold. Especially when they play all these really good teams like Kentucky, Duke. Virginia Tech game was obviously an upset, but and I think the biggest thing, and you nailed it, is Cassius Winston. I mean, he's still one of the best players in the country, and he's carrying this team right now when they need him to. And I think Michigan State is also a team trying to find their identity with all these injuries and different rotations coming in. Aaron Henry's a big name. He finally had a solid game yesterday. He had 12 points. Gabe Brown had 14. He started in place for Rocket Watts. This team needs to get more consistent and decently played minutes from their bench, which they haven't been getting. I just think, I guess it's a good transition into Michigan State basketball. But to answer the question, Austin, I think honestly you nailed it perfectly. Just it's Michigan State as a program versus Purdue, which isn't a knock on Purdue because they have a really good basketball program, but they were also ranked number 1 to start the year. This team, it has a lot of talent on it, and it's beaten who they supposed to beaten outside of Virginia Tech. And honestly, 1-16 is a pretty big drop in the first month of the season. So I think Michigan State definitely deserves to be ranked. I think Purdue's got an argument. Obviously, don't know who the better team is yet, but I think you explained it perfectly, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what it comes down to: national recognition, and I mean
rankings. At the end of the day, we are barely a month into the season. If I don't even think we are yet. I mean, it's rankings are rankings. They're fun to look at. Like you said, it's a media thing. It's a good talking point, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is later in the year, when it comes to January, February, Big Ten play, and then obviously March. So we'll see how it plays out. Purdue's been impressive outside of they don't really have a bad loss, I don't think.
No, I mean, it's just like a volatile thing. You don't know what Texas is going to be. You don't know what Marquette's going to be. You don't know what Florida State's going to be, but you know what Duke and Kentucky are. And
Right. Florida State and Texas, I think, are solid teams. Marquette, I'm questionable about, even though they do have Marcus Howard. But they did lose the Hauser brothers, which was a huge loss for them. Those were 2 starters for them last year. So it's kind of curious to see where they go with it. But I think you guys were on the road for that game, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And it's one of those things, though, is Purdue was up by – Purdue should have won the game, and they lost it. They let it go. So –
yeah,
I just kind of, you kind of get what you get with Purdue at this point. People know and understand, but the flip side is obviously, with Michigan State, it's different. You kind of know it's a different scenario.
Yeah, and before we get too deep into college basketball and the politics of it, a month into the season, Michigan State played Rutgers last night. Was quite an ugly game. Won by 12, which is what matters, I guess, at the end of the day. You get the W. Cassius Winston did his thing. He had 23 points, 7 assists. Xavier Tillman had a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Starting 5 did all right. Marcus Bingham got the start. He only ended up playing 11 minutes, though, which I thought was weird. Malik Hall got a lot of the time at the 4, who Purdue fans, if you guys follow recruiting, he was almost went to you guys. Sorry, Austin. He's been fun to watch. He's going to be a good player here, but he's a true freshman, so it's tough to really, gauge him. Michigan State's also not used to playing 3 true freshmen, even though they get solid recruiting classes. If we can't forget the first year Miles Bridges in that class was here. Their Michigan State was like a 8 seed. I think they didn't have that good of a year. They lost 2 of their starting centers. Nick Ward had to start. So Izzo's better with experience. And this team, it has Cassius and Xavier Tillman. But outside of that, it's a bunch of guys trying to figure out their role. Aaron Henry's very talented, but I think when you go from being just a role player behind a Josh Langford and a Matt McQuaid and a Kenny Goins to being probably the number 2 guy to go to besides Cassius, I think it's kind of like a shock to the system. So I think they are just going to have to figure things out on the run here. And they play, I think they play Oakland on Saturday, which should obviously be a win. Northwestern, Eastern Michigan, Western Illinois, Michigan on January 5th, which will be fun. But honestly, they shouldn't lose another game in December. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Oakland on Saturday at noon. I think it's too early to really judge this team yet. I don't want to hit the panic button yet. They didn't look good versus Rutgers, but this team did fight back against a Kentucky team. They did beat a Seton Hall team on the road. Didn't compete with Duke. That game was just rough to watch, but they have showed flashes. So we'll see what happens. Regarding football, not much to really talk about. We're going to the Pinstripe Bowl. Woo. Playing Wake Forest there. Antonio's not making any coaching changes till after the season, so really until then I could honestly care less what happens with this program at this time. Obviously you want to see them win a bowl game, but I mean I know what's going to happen. We're going to either win 20-17 or lose 14-10. So it's whatever. I'm just tired of this. Recruiting wise, Justin Rogers, from what I'm hearing and seeing, is that he's probably going to sign with Kentucky. It was fun to fantasize about him for a little bit, but I think the time has moved on. Thing to keep an eye on is Lamy Constant, I believe his last name is, the running back 4-star out of Oklahoma, I believe. Might be Texas. He committed to West Virginia and already reopened his commitment 2 weeks later. So Michigan State wasn't his top 3. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I'd be shocked if he did come, because we're still after Alante Brown. We offered a running back out of Texas, so we're still. I'm kind of curious to see how D'Antonio closes this class out, because I think it's clear he's coming back next year. He's still on the road recruiting guys, so I think we'll obviously see D'Antonio back next year. But until we make a decision on this offensive staff, I mean, everything's going to be kind of in question on this recruiting class. So. Big signing day coming up, like Austin said. Would like to get everybody that we have in this class signed. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I mean, really not much to talk about. So we put something together here, something fun. Me and Austin are going to do a pick'em for every single bowl game outside of the playoffs. Pick against the spread that we normally do. Have a little fun with the over/under, and go from there. Austin, there are some interesting bowl names I have learned today after putting the spreadsheet together.
Oh, I do not doubt that at all.
Yep. we're gonna start with the Bahamas Bowl. Yeah, Buffalo plays Charlotte. I can't tell you the last time I've watched Buffalo or Charlotte football. Last time I watched Buffalo football was probably when some Khalil Mack highlights. Or
Tyree Jackson.
Yeah, my boy Tyree. Yeah, Austin understands my frustration with Tyree Jackson. We will not get into that. But he is a Detroit native, so shout out to Tyree. Buffalo is -5. I don't even know how to pick this game. I was planning on doing some more research into these unknowns, but I didn't. So I guess I'll go first, and I will take Buffalo.
Yeah, I have no idea. Who are they playing?
Charlotte.
What are their records?
I should probably pull them up. Buffalo.
And you said Buffalo is -5.
Yeah, Buffalo's giving Charlotte 5. Buffalo is they have never won a bowl game, so that's interesting. They are playing Charlotte, which wow, you just gotta love the lack of information on this game because of who they are. Buffalo is 7-5. They did beat Eastern Michigan pretty. They beat Rutgers. There's that.
Okay.
Lost to Army 42-13. Beat Central Michigan. Beat Akron. Beat Toledo. Who else they lose to? Lost to Ohio 52-17. Okay, that's awkward. That is actually embarrassing. I was looking at last year's schedule. Oopsie.
Nice.
They lost to Penn State week 2, 45-13. Any notable wins? I guess they beat Central Michigan 43-20, Eastern Michigan 43-14. Yeah, so Buffalo football.
You know what? For the sake of not getting hung up on the first game, and so we can get to the 30 plus other ones, let's just go Buffalo all the way. Go Buffalo.
I think of anyways, real quick, just for some fun, the over and under of this game, Austin, is 57. What you
hell, no way. No, I don't think so.
I'll go for the hell of it. I'll go over.
Go the under because I've got guts.
You got guts? All right. Fair enough. This is a really early game. Utah State is a team that I love their quarterback. I had to have a taste of him last year. Jordan Love playing Michigan State. They are playing Kent State in the Frisco Bowl. Utah State is favored by 9 points, with the over/under being 65.5. Go ahead, Austin, with both.
Utah State, Jordan Love, if he plays.
Oh yeah, I guess we're just gonna assume everybody's playing here as a disclaimer. We're gonna go with that.
I know the only people I know that aren't are. I just read about it. Crap.
Austin, come on, man.
I don't know. Actually, I forgot. But yeah, Jordan Love, Utah State. They cover. They win. What's the over/under?
65.5.
65.5. Oh, that's a lot of points. No, I'm going the under.
And I'm going over again. I think that Utah State offense is going to score some points, and I think Kent State will score enough to get it to go over. Fun fact, I believe that is the second highest over/under we have. New Mexico Bowl, Central Michigan, Fire Up Chips, lost in the MAC championship game. Takes on San Diego State. Central Michigan is favored by 4.5. The over/under is a little bit different, 41.5. Fun fact, the New Mexico Bowl is in New Mexico.
Well, that's a relief. Let's see. So, shout out me for getting Miami of Ohio covering correct.
Oh, you did. You did. I have
I don't know where I put it. They won outright, so there you go. Oh boy. I will take. I'll take. What's the point spread again?
San Diego State or Central Michigan is favored by 4.5.
4.5. I'll take that. I think Central Michigan covers. The over under is 41. I think I'll take the over. 41.5. I'll take the over.
I am in complete. I'm going to agree with you completely on both of those. So moving on, this is probably my favorite matchup, Austin. The Cure Bowl. I think that's a new one. Liberty takes on Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern is favored by 6 points, and the over-under is 56.5. I will just lead off, and I will take Liberty for the sake of picking an upset, finally. So I'm going to take Liberty and the 6 points, and I will also take the under in this game.
I am going to take Georgia State. Let's go. I think Georgia State covers, and we will do the over.
All right. I like it. A little frisky. These are, this is a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. The Boca Raton Bowl. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I know it's in Florida. Is it Boca Raton or Boca?
No, Boca's right. You got it right. You got it right.
SMU takes on. Is Lane Kiffin coaching this game still?
Oh boy, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so he's going to Ole Miss already. Florida Atlantic plays.
He got announced.
Florida Atlantic plays SMU. SMU's favored by 3.5 points. The over/under. Any guesses, Austin? This is the highest one we have.
Oh boy, probably like 70 plus.
Good call, 72.
72. I'll take the over, and SMU covers. I think FAU will play well because the offense is still installed, and I'm sure they won't deviate from what Lane Kiffin was doing down there. But SMU, I'm surprised. They were having a really good year, and then they kind of just fell off late. But Shane Buechele, former Texas quarterback, and I believe they've got – I don't know if he's playing, but they've got a stud wide receiver down at SMU. But, I'll take the over. They've been scoring tons of points. I think against a opponent like FAU, it'll just be a score fest.
Yeah, I'm going to take SMU as well. No Lane Kiffin, and I think SMU's better than the record is, like Austin was kind of saying. So we will agree on that one. The Camellia Bowl, FIU, shout out to these Florida schools, takes on Arkansas State. Arkansas State is favored by 3 points. I can't tell you if I've ever watched either of these teams play, ever. So with that being said, I will just take Arkansas State, and I think they win by more than 3 points. That's my analysis.
I'm going to take Florida International University to cover because these two schools I've heard of once or twice. These are the bowl games that are the ones to watch because these teams like go at it, and they're usually 100%. The close ones. So I'm going to take FIU to cover that 3 points. So they'll either win outright or lose a heartbreaker. And
over under 63.
63. Oh boy, I'll take the under.
Yeah, I took Arkansas State in the under, and you're taking FIU in the under. I like it. Expected. Moving on to a kind of interesting matchup. We're starting to get closer to some more interesting games. Boise State takes on Washington. Is Jacob Eason playing?
Oh, Chris Peterson's gone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What, did he retire? Or did he just go somewhere?
He stepped down, but he'll probably be back in coaching. Would be my guess.
Jacob Eason. Potential historic season. Why would this be a historic season at UW? Anyways, it doesn't say if he's.
And they're playing Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State.
I'm going to take Boise State covering or winning outright. And
The over-under is
is it
49
within
and a
the
half.
49 and a half? Give me the over. Give me the over.
Okay, I'm going to go Washington, assuming Eason plays. And would you go with the over or the under?
I went with the over.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. You took Boise State over, just putting that in. I'm a big Jacob Eason fan, so I think if he plays, I think they win. I haven't watched much of Boise State this year. Would have been kind of interesting. Peterson was the coach of Boise State, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was the coach there when Kellen Moore was there, and then he took the job at Washington. And
so that would have been kind of cool to see. But, whatever. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was not meant to be. Who knows? Chris Peterson might be coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Where I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Peterson?
Michigan State.
There's a place in East Lansing that I think needs a new home for head coach, but who am I?
That would be a good get.
I think it'd be a good fit, honestly. But the New Orleans Bowl, Appalachian State takes on University of Alabama Birmingham. Appalachian State laying 17 points, and the over/under is 48. I think App State wins by 2 touchdowns, but man, 17 points is a lot to lay in a game that everybody's giving their all in. So I'm going to take UAB to cover, and I will take the 48 points. Yikes. I'm going to go with the over.
I am going to go over and UAB covering as well because I don't know if Appalachian State's coach is coaching in this game.
Oh, another one of those coaches.
He was hired away. Who scooped him up? Come on, think. Who had
for Austin?
He got scooped up by somebody. But yeah, I know Ole Miss got Lane Kiffin. Arkansas got the Georgia offensive line coach.
Ilya Drinkwitz. Where did you go, my friend? This should be a lot easier to look up than it is, I would think. Mizzou? Yeah, Mizzou.
There, yep, there, yes. Okay.
It's a pretty good hire. I like that hire. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like without Kelly Bryant next year, but okay, so we agree on that one. UCF and Marshall square off in the Gasparilla Bowl. UCF is laying 17.5 and the over-under 61.5. Just for the sake of knowing who UCF is, I will take them to blow up Marshall, and I will take the under.
Yeah, UCF definitely covers. They're still pretty good, good enough anyway. And then I'm sorry, what was the
61.5
points? Oh no, under. That's a lot. That's a lot of points.
I'm waiting to hear the Michigan State Wake Forest over under.
Jeez.
So this is kind of I'm gonna call conspiracy here. Oh, okay, all right. I'm probably am too, to be fair, but the Hawaii Bowl conspiracy, I smell it. BYU takes on Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl. Come on. You can't make Hawaii travel. BYU's got to travel all the way from middle of nowhere, Utah, I think.
Oh, I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for all those kids at BYU that for Christmas they get to go to Hawaii for free to play football.
Fair enough, but come on, Hawaii doesn't have to travel. They can just stay at home. I think they're playing at Hawaii Stadium.
Hey, man. That's okay.
Anyways, BYU is favored by 2 points. And the over-under 62.5. I think BYU is a solid football team. Hawaii's my man crush is on Hawaii, and that's Cole McDonald with his I don't know if he's still got the dreads, but the white surfer dude with the dreads, love the look, and he's got a cannon. But I will still take BYU. I think 2 points. I think BYU wins outright, and I see them winning more by a field goal. So I will take BYU. 62.5. It's a lot of points. I'm going to go with under.
Yeah, I'll take the under as well. And I agree. I think BYU will win by more than that, just because I think their defense is pretty good. And I know everyone was all over Hawaii's offense to start, but not anymore. I don't think that they are all that and a bag of potato chips anymore. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And for the record, we don't know what we're talking about. And for the most part, everything we say, if you bet the opposite of what we say,
probably will work. Just don't listen to us. I mean, we are. I'm pretty much hanging on by a thread here until we get to a couple games later. So, Independence Bowl, Louisiana Tech plays the U, Miami of Florida. Over under 50. Miami's favored by 7.5. Louisiana Tech versus Miami. Man, Miami's program's in just place playing Louisiana Tech in a bowl game. Whew.
Oh boy. I'm going to take Louisiana Tech to cover or win outright. Miami right now, they don't know what they have thrown the towel in. I think there's some guys sitting out and going into the draft. This team this year needs to be over for them. I don't think they show up to play. I think Louisiana Tech comes in. It's a bigger game for them than it is for the U. Louisiana Tech covers, and what's the point? The point spread? Or
50.
The total points? Excuse
50.
me. 50. Give me the under. Miami's offense is trash.
I also take Louisiana Tech and the under. Is Tate Martell transferring again?
I don't think so, but boy,
he's been an interesting college career, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Tate Martell, let's see. Just looking him up real quick. Girlfriend pushed into middle of Miami quarterback Tate Martell's mysterious absence. Okay. I guess he has been absent from the football team. He said, I'm not transferring, though. So there's that. All right, Tate. Yeah, we'll see. Do you, bud. Quick Lane Bowl. Was hoping Michigan State would get in the Quick Lane Bowl. It's local. I would have gone to the game. And we would have played Pitt, who is... Their head coach is Narduzzi, the former defensive coordinator here, famous for the no-fly zone defense of Trey Waynes, Darqueze Dennard, the Bola brothers, and so on and so forth. Pitt is favored by 10.5. Over-under is 48. I will take Pitt to cover and win, and I don't think these teams can score 48 points combined, so I will go with the under.
Yeah, I'll go the under.
Did you go the under with? Yeah, you went the under with the last game too.
Mm-hmm. And wait, Pitt's not playing Michigan State though, right?
They're playing Eastern Michigan. I'm sorry.
Eastern Michigan. Oh. I think Pitt will cover.
All right. All right, after this game that I'm about to announce, we're probably going to get to some more interesting games, so bear with us. The Military Bowl, North Carolina, Temple, UNC is favored by 5.5, over-under is 52.5. I'm taking Temple, and I'm taking the under.
Nah, give me Mac Brown and his squad.
Okay.
And I'll take the over.
Oh, we're getting spicy out here, people. Buckle up. All right. The matchup of the bowl season, ladies and gentlemen. How this game doesn't have the lowest over and under, I don't know, because, man, both teams' offenses are really fun to watch. The Pinstripe Bowl, Yankee Stadium. Michigan State, Wake Forest. Can't miss it, people. Michigan State is favored by 3.5 points. The over-under, any guesses, Austin?
I want to say maybe in the 30s.
Good guess. That's what you would think. 49.
Well, I think Wake Forest, they were pretty good, and then I don't know what happened to them. They just kind of fell apart, I think. I don't know if it was injuries or what it was, but...
Let's see what they average per game. Wake Forest football stats. All right, Demon Deacons, see what you got. 8-4 in the ACC. Their quarterback's not horrible. Oh, he can run too. Oh, no, never mind. That's not him. I don't care about your individual stats. Oh, there we go. Team stats. Okay, they averaged 32.8 points per game.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They're kind of like, is Joe Bocci playing in this game? What Michigan State is playing in this game? You know,
Everybody's playing, but Joe Bocci.
Okay, I think give me Wake Forest, and I'm gonna go the over.
Okay, so are you going to? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I can't believe I missed this. Joe Bocci's appeal for failed drug test denied, ending college career. All for a failed gym supplement. You got to read the rules there, Joe. Out of curiosity, with you picking Wake Forest and the over, do you think Wake Forest blows Michigan State out, or is this a good game?
I don't think it's a total blowout, but I think Wake Forest will pull away and maybe win by like 10 or so.
You know what, Austin? You go from picking us to win the Big Ten to losing to Wake Forest in the Pinstripe Bowl. Where did we go?
2019 is the year for pessimism.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I don't have faith in anybody anymore.
You know
Everybody keeps letting me down.
I'm going to be optimistic, okay? You know, as negative as I've been all year, can this football team just give me one fun performance? Like the hope they gave me a couple years ago when they beat Washington State like 38-10 in the bowl game, and then we were like, oh yeah, Michigan State's going to be good. And then last year happened. So I'm going to go with Michigan State, and I'm going to go with the over. I think Brian Lewerke somehow puts together a good football game for his last game as a Spartan, and I will go with Michigan State and the over. Michigan State winning 28-24. Barely covering. It's not going to happen. But that was my spirited pep talk. I hope you Spartans listened to it. That Spartan players, I'm sure they'd enjoy it. All right, some real football. Here we go. Oklahoma State takes on Texas A&M in the Texas Bowl. What the? I guess Oklahoma's close enough to Texas. A&M is favored by 6, and the over/under is 53.5. I will go. Ooh, this is actually a tough one. I will go with Oklahoma State, and I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go A&M and the over because these teams can score.
Yeah, they can score.
And I think I don't know how, no one plays very good defense right now at this point for either side. I know, and obviously against LSU, you're going to get shellacked, but kind of an example there. And then Oklahoma shellacked Oklahoma State, which was supposed to be closer than I thought. But they can both score. And a Big 12 defense versus a Big 12 team masquerading as an SEC team. Lots of points. So A&M cover or win outright, over.
All right, Holiday Bowl. USC, Iowa. This is the most interesting spread. Iowa is favored by 1 point. So pretty much you're taking Iowa to win, or you're taking USC to win. I'm going to take Iowa, go Big Ten. The over-under is 51.5. I will go with the.
Yeah, I'm going to go Iowa as well. Just because Big Ten and a really good friend of mine went and graduated from Iowa. He's going to this game in California.
Nice.
But yeah, go Hawks, Guacs. And I will take the under because Iowa's defense. If AJ Espinoza plays, oof, no one can block him.
What are you saying there? I lost you.
AJ Espinoza, the stud future NFL defensive end. If he plays, Iowa's defense is going to rock and roll against USC.
And like I said at the beginning of the pod, we are assuming everybody's playing here. So, the camping... I'm skipped a bowl. The Cheez-It Bowl. Great snack. Shout out to Cheez-It. Maybe give us an ad or something. I don't know. Air Force takes on Washington State. Air Force is favored by 2.5. The over-under 67. Air Force still running that funky like wishbone offense?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. I guess I'll take Air Force. I guess I'll take Air Force, but I'm going to take the under.
I am going over and Mike Leach, baby.
Mike Leach. Maybe he's your new defensive coordinator, even though he's an offensive coach, I think.
Yeah, no, his teams give up tons of points. They win games by outscoring.
I know. I just love Mike Leach, okay, and his personality. The Camping World Bowl. Sounds like they're playing Call of Duty, aka Camping World. Notre Dame, Iowa State. Notre Dame's a team that really kind of fell hard. So again, depending on who plays and who doesn't, I mean, it's kind of a pointless bowl game. So you would think guys like Okwara and guys like that won't play, but like I said, I'm assuming they all play. So I will take Notre Dame to win by 10, and I will take the over. Yeah, I'll take the over.
I just brain farted. Who are we?
I'm John. You're Austin. That's who we are.
That's
Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Iowa State. Notre Dame by 3.5.
Oh no! Iowa State covers, wins outright.
Did you get that?
And yes, and then I will go the over. I'll go the over. The over on that with Iowa State covering.
I unplugged my headset. I'm sorry. So you took Iowa State?
Yeah, and the over.
All right. Cotton Bowl. This is actually a fun matchup. Memphis, Penn State. Penn State by a touchdown.
Oh boy. Yeah, Penn State covers, and I'm gonna go the over because Memphis is gonna score. But I think Penn State is really good. You didn't even
hear the spread, or you didn't even hear the over under.
I don't care.
It's 81.
Oh,
I'm kidding. It's 60.5.
Okay. I would have stuck to my guns, but
wow. Okay. I will agree. Penn State in the over. First Responder Bowl, Western Kentucky, Western Michigan. Western Kentucky's favored by 2.5. Go Broncos. I would say row the boat, but PJ Fleck's not there anymore. So Western Michigan wins, and I will take the under.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say actually. So.
Oh, okay.
Same. Ditto. Actually, ditto.
Nice. I like it. Love it when we agree. No means we're wrong. Music City Bowl, Mississippi State, Louisville. Mississippi State favored by 3.5. Over under 62.5. I will take Louisville and the under. I am really just
trying to think. Louisville had a pretty good year this year, actually, with Scott.
Yeah, they didn't look horrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Louisville as well. And what was the point total again?
62.5.
Oh boy. No, I'm gonna do the under on that.
I love your reactions. I love your reactions to all these like over unders. The different oh boy tones you've given me tonight is gold.
That's what I'm here for.
Orange Bowl, Florida, Virginia. Florida favored by 13.5. After Virginia just got their soul taken away from them against Clemson. 54.5 is the spread. I just don't trust Florida. I'm going to go Virginia to cover but lose.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, to be honest.
And I will go with the under.
I'm going the over, though.
Ooh. Are you?
Virginia covers on the over.
All right. Why can't? All right, there we go. It's working now. The Belk Bowl. What is Belk? Any clue?
It sounds familiar, but I do not know.
Okay, moving on. Kentucky plays Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech favored by 3. The over-under is the lowest of every game. That's 46.5. I will take Kentucky and the over.
I'm going to take Virginia Tech and the under because I don't know if Kentucky's quarterback situation, what the heck's going on there. I'm pretty sure they just run the football at this point.
Yeah, I think they play Lynn Bowden a lot under center, and they just kind of run the ball out of there.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Virginia Tech because they have a functional offense, and I'll go the over because I'm sure Kentucky will just wear them down.
You said over or under?
Over.
Okay.
Wear them down,
so
and they'll be some. They got some athletes, yes, but Virginia Tech will win. Or
Sun Bowl, Florida State, Arizona State. Arizona State favored by 5.5. Herm Edwards just fired his whole offensive staff, something I wish D'Antoni would have done. Whatever. 55.5 is the over-under, so the spread's 5.5, and the over-under is 55.5. A lot of 5s. I'm going to take... I think it's tough firing your offensive staff, but also Florida State, I feel like, is also... This is like a dumpster fire game. Oof. I'll go Florida State for some reason, and I will go with the under.
No, I'm going the under for sure, but Arizona State. Florida State is trash. Arizona State actually has a good defense, and they might have fired their. No.
Okay,
no. You know what? No,
I'll stick with my guns.
There you go. Good. No, yeah. Arizona State, they've got athletes on offense. They got a really good defense, obviously holding Oregon to whatever little points they scored. And obviously, I think Utah's defense is better.
Arizona State also held a very dangerous Michigan State offense to 7 points. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I'm going to just forget you said that. Yeah, Arizona State covers, but it's the under for sure.
Okay, we're getting close. Liberty Bowl, Navy, Kansas State. Kansas State favored by 1, over under 52. I will take Navy and the over.
Boy, against Kansas State though, Navy. Oh, you know what? Let's go Navy. Give me Navy cover.
Navy over under.
What was the point total?
52.
52. Give me the over.
All right.
The triple option is
Arizona. The Arizona Bowl, which of course is located in Arizona. Wyoming takes on Georgia State. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, never mind. Georgia Southern was earlier. Sorry, I got really.
Why are we digressing? Why are we getting worse again?
This is a random game in the middle of nowhere. Back up.
Literally in the middle of nowhere.
I just went by dates of when the games were, so I don't know why this one's thrown in the mess here. There is no over-under for this game for whatever reason, so I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Georgia State's favored by 7, so...
Whatever it comes out to be, I'm going the under.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Georgia State to cover.
Yeah, okay, we'll go get away from this game as quickly as possible. Real football. Okay, so I typed that in wrong. So it's Utah versus Texas A&M. Wait a minute.
That can't be right. Utah is playing Texas. I thought.
Yes.
No, Utah.
Yeah, you're right.
No, Utah's not playing Texas.
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, I just mistyped that. I think what happened was I was typing in my spreadsheet, and you know how the suggestions come up. If you already had something similar typed, I think I just kind of hit enter for both of these teams. So Utah plays Texas. Utah's favored by a touchdown. I'm not a big Texas fan. I think Utah bounces back, depending on who plays in this game. I'll take Utah over under 55. I'll take the under.
Yeah, I will go with Utah as well. Just Texas is not back. And after they got smacked against Oregon, they're not going to be very happy about that, and they're gonna come out there and stick it to a Texas defense that is not good. So
yes, agree. You over under.
You know what? Give me the over because I think Texas will figure out how to score, but I think Utah's just going to score more.
Yeah, I see this auto thing happen a lot in this because it says Michigan State, Alabama. No, thank you. Michigan takes on Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. This is one of those who's going to play. Like, is Ruggs and Judy going to play?
Ooh.
If they do, Michigan doesn't stand a chance because they can't cover speed or good receivers.
Agreed.
So I'm going to assume they're playing, even though they probably won't. So I will take Bama easily to win by more than a touchdown. 57.5, I will go with the over.
I agree with you. Asterisk on this game for both of us because it's like, if those guys play or not is actually a big deal. And obviously Tua's gone, so like I don't know if he's leaving, but if he's not playing.
Right.
So.
Probably one of my favorite matchups is Auburn, Minnesota. Last Big Ten team to play Auburn was in a bowl game was Austin's Pretty Boilermakers. Hopefully Minnesota gives us a better showing. I think Auburn's pretty good. I think Auburn does win by like 10 points, but I think this is a better football game than most people think. So I'll take Auburn to cover and win, and over under 51.5. I will go with the under.
I'm going over and Auburn winning. I think Minnesota's going to be able to score some points just because they've got some talented receivers. It just depends on if Derek Brown plays. Derek Brown plays, I might change my pick. I would, but assuming that he is playing, no,
assuming he's playing. We're just going to assume.
Sorry. Assuming he's playing, I'm still going to take the over and Auburn winning outright and covering for sure. But Derek Brown definitely causes a ton of problems.
As much as I love the playoffs.
Have you seen his pass rush move?
Yeah,
like 330 plus.
Yeah, I watched him. I've watched it. I did like 10 mock drafts today. I don't know if you paid attention to our group chat for Madden, but I had nothing to do at work today, so I did a lot of mock drafts. And I did a Colts one. Derek Brown fell to them at like 15, so that was fun.
I mean, there's just a lot of teams going different routes up top, so yeah, that could happen.
Rose Bowl, which sucks because it kind of lost its like sizzle because of the playoff, which I love the playoff, so I don't want to go back. But Oregon, Wisconsin's favored by 2.5. Which I'm going Oregon here. I think Oregon wins. And the over under 15.5. Okay, yeah. God, is he? I doubt he plays.
I don't know if he's playing. You know what? He came back for.
Yeah, he did come back for a reason. He's going to play, and Oregon's going to win. Over under 50.5. I'm taking the over.
Boy, I will take the over as well. Boy, I'm going to take Wisconsin.
Okay,
I'm going to take Wisconsin. Yeah,
be nice for the Big Ten. A really weird over under. Sugar Bowl, Georgia, Baylor. Georgia's favored 7.5. Over under is only 42.5, which is by far the lowest over under.
Well, I think the Baylor quarterback will be back from his.
Did he not play first Oklahoma?
He played into the second quarter. He got smoked.
Okay. So I didn't watch the whole game.
They shouldn't have. Yeah, they shouldn't have let him back in, but he came back in. But yeah, he was out the rest of the game, and that's when we saw the true freshman come in. But
okay,
I am definitely taking Baylor to cover. How could you take this Georgia offense to do anything of anything? Big no for me on that regard. Georgia didn't show up against Texas last year, so I'm going to go with Baylor. I wouldn't be surprised if Baylor won outright. So Big 12 taking down Georgia again. They cover. I'm going to go, and you said it was 42.5. I'm going to say the over.
I agree because I think Baylor scores like 31.
Exactly.
I think George is capable of at least scoring like 13 points. So, okay, we're back to shitters. So we're gonna fly through these. Boston College, Cincy 6.5, 54.5. I will take. Oh, did Cincy? Who won that Cincy Memphis game? Do you remember? Did Memphis win again?
Memphis won by 5. Yeah.
Okay, I will take Boston College and AJ Dillon, I guess.
No, Cincinnati and the under. Hello, Cincinnati under. Yes, no, maybe so.
Right? Okay. Wow. I don't know why that happened. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that was weird. You took Cincy in the under. Got that. Tennessee,
Okay.
Indiana, Gator Bowl. Indiana has not beaten a team with a bowl-eligible record, I don't think. So, and Tennessee is a dumpster fire. Go Big Ten. Tennessee 1.5. I don't know if I said that.
I'm taking Tennessee win
under.
outright. Tennessee went outright. Give me the over. Side note, Tennessee has been a dumpster fire, but this year they turned it around, and I've actually taken Tennessee to cover in the last couple of games, and they've done so very well. Tennessee. Give me Tennessee outright, and the over because these teams can score. Jeremy Pruitt's doing a pretty good job at Tennessee right now. Where can he hang with the big boys? No, but everybody else.
They lost to Georgia State.
Okay, look. I'm talking like their last.
They beat Kentucky by 4, beat Missouri by 4, and beat Vanderbilt by 18. Whatever. I guess. Whatever.
Yeah,
you're right. I'll give it to you. But I'm sticking with Indiana. We will a couple more games. Nevada and Ohio. Ohio favored by 6.5 in the Idaho Potato Bowl. No better place to have a potato bowl than Idaho. 57.5. I will take Ohio and the over.
I'll take Ohio and the under.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Southern Mississippi and Tulane. Tulane -7. 57.5. I'll take Southern Mississippi, I guess. And the under.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And then last game, the Lending Tree Bowl. Louisiana versus Miami of Ohio. Louisiana favored by 14. 55.5 is the over-under. I will take Miami of Ohio and the over.
Miami of Ohio and the under for me.
All right. Well, there you have it. I have this on record, this whole spreadsheet of probably a lot of wrong answers, so don't listen to us.
Yeah, probably. Who won last week with the conference championships?
If you can give me like 2 seconds and go ahead and start closing out the show, I will find that sheet and I will let you know.
Okay. So while he does that, I really don't have much to say. If you want to maybe make some money on the games, do exactly the opposite of what we said. That usually works pretty well, except I had a really good feeling about the
all right
conference championships. So I think that went
I'm back. Well. All right, let's see here. Oregon, Utah. I took Oregon, so haha.
Yeah, you won that. Yeah.
So nice. I got 1, you got 0. Miami of Ohio. Wow. So Central Michigan was favored by 7 and lost. So
yep, I took Miami of Ohio. Give me the action, baby. Yep.
Okay. Can you look up the games for me? Just Appalachian State and Louisiana. What happened there?
Appalachian State won. Hold on, let me look and see. Appalachian State won 45-38.
So I got bad news.
What?
We're going to go through this, but we agreed on every single game outside of the first two, so we're going to tie.
Oh, did we really?
Yeah, so we'll just go through and see how good we were.
Oh.
Appalachian State won by how many?
They won by 7, it looks like.
Oh,
yeah.
6.5. We got it.
Hey.
Baylor, Oklahoma minus 8.5. We both Baylor, and we got it.
Yep.
Florida Atlantic, UAB, Florida Atlantic minus 7. I think Florida Atlantic blew them out, right?
Yeah, 49-6.
Yep, so we got that. Memphis, Cincinnati. Cincy lost by 5, so me and Austin, I almost took Cincy too. Me and Austin both take an L there, so we've gotten 2 wrong each. Georgia versus LSU, we got. Wisconsin, Ohio State. What was the final score there?
Wisconsin, Ohio State, 34-21.
We did not get that. We picked Ohio State minus 16, and we also definitely did not get Virginia minus 29, even because we both picked Virginia. So, well,
oof.
Yeah. So we tied, but we went 4 each. I think we lost 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 and 4, not horrible. Could have been better. Let's see how we do with these bowl games.
Wait, did we pick the same for Boise State, Hawaii?
We didn't pick that game for whatever reason.
We didn't pick that game?
I honestly should have done more research, I guess, because I printed out the championship spreads, and those are the only games they gave me. So, who won that game?
Boise State, 31-10.
What was the spread? Do you know?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it.
And then we should have had the tiebreaker, the SWAC championship game. Alcorn State versus Southern.
Oh,
that would have been a hell of a
great. Pick. That would have been fun. Who would you have taken? Honestly, I would have taken Alcorn State just because of the name. I don't know what happened in this game, but I like Alcorn State.
I'm thinking the same thing. Alcorn State won 39-24. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have no idea what the spread was, but
can you imagine picking the spread for that game? Like, what do you even?
No, I can't.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
Me and Austin are really starting to like the spread stuff, so watch out, guys. We're going to turn into degenerates here.
Hopefully we'll get good.
Yeah, hopefully we'll learn a thing
probably
or two.
Not. Probably not. But no final thoughts because we've drug on long enough. Over an hour. So, hey, but that's what happens. We combined. We went through every bowl game. Again, if you want to win some money, do exactly the opposite of what we said, and you will be fine. As always, I'm Austin, co-host John Emmons. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you heard tonight, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Voice of the Fan, and also give us a listen on SoundCloud. And if you could, like our page on Facebook at Voice of the Fan and follow us on Twitter at Voice of the Fan PC. Thanks, everyone.